Yes, so Dr. Swati, now we are live at all the channels also. So you can take over the session.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Satish. And I welcome everyone to this session in our Tech in Pharma series. Well, we all are now addicted to, looking at series. So you will be looking at Netflix series. Someone will be following some series at some other platforms. So what we decided that let us create a Tech in Pharma series. People know that something is going to come in this series. There's a next episode of and a continuation to what we start through a session. So this particular series has been tagged as Tech in Pharma, and here we will have various experts. Mainly, Sourav Das will be taking the sessions along with Vivek sir on the tech part in pharma, the digital tech in pharma, the way marketeers and sales professionals from pharma companies can utilize the digital tech for their benefit. This is the second session in the same series, and we are today taking up the microsites, and none other than Vivek sir, whom everyone know. I will not be introducing him again and again now. And Sourav, most of us know about him, so I'll just tell you the background of Sourav. We all are aware, but still, for the formality part, he is currently MyRx founder and CEO, and his company assists pharma companies with their tech part. He has worked in Tata Consultancy Services and Infosys in various roles in various projects, and he is a very innovative project management executive, and he has healthcare IT experience also. This is the short introduction that I will give for Sourav. You will yourself see the knowledge and the expertise that he has in various topics related to tech and pharma. Please stay connected in this session, stay vigilant in this session, because there's a very important announcement that we would be making just after the conversation between Vivek sir and Sourav Das ends on the topic of microsites. And I'll ask everyone to please keep yourself on mute so that the session goes on well. And as you know, we will take up the question and answers, and there is almost ample time now kept for question and answer this time. So keep your questions ready, keep them coming. We will be taking all of them. Now over to Vivek sir and Sourav on this topic of microsites. A lot of confusion stays there. So please focus on what Sourav and Vivek sir have to say about microsites. Over to you, Sourav. Yeah, and Vivek.
Thank you.
Thank you, Swati. Welcome, Sourav.
Thank you, sir.
Before we start, Sourav, I just wanted a small thing. What exactly is a microsite? To me, it is a focus site within the main website for a brand. Am I right on this, or I need to be corrected?
Sir, you're perhaps right about it. So when we are talking about microsite, it is a concept, every company have their own website. So in fact, having a website for the company is important, it's vital, and we have been seeing the results out of it. But when it comes to brand, when it comes to special campaigns, the main site doesn't solve the purpose. So having some smaller sites, some unique campaign focused sites or brand focused sites, these are called as microsite in fact. So the question is like, what exactly a microsite does then? So a microsite for a brand, why it is important? I will just answer this in few questions. Like I will just put you up. So suppose you have a pharma company. You are dealing with 3, 4 multiple segments, and you are also dealing with 40, 50 or 100 products in fact. So it is not possible for a visitor who visits your website to see all the information at a go. And sometimes we lack the contents. So at this point of time, when internet penetration is so high, digital is penetrating, people are continuously looking ahead for contents, and your visitors, who can be your consumers, who can be your customers, who can be doctors, who can be your internal people also who are seeking for constant knowledge. So that content part is generally, exhausted in a major website. What we generally do is, like, if we are focusing on a brand growth or a specific campaign, we generally break it up into small microsites. Now you can ask me, like, what is the difference between a microsite and a landing page also? So these are the terms which are coming up. So landing page and microsites are quite different. And landing page, like, I can share you some my screen. Should I go ahead and share it, sir?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Sure.
Yeah. So I have something to showcase you. So if you are going ahead with a microsite and a landing page, this screen, it is something like, what is a microsite and what is landing page? Landing page, microsites, both are intended for sharing the information about your product, about your brand, to your consumer, to your reader, to your visitors on the site. So microsite can be of one page or more than one page. Microsite can be static or else dynamic also. Microsite can be published in the branded parent website, or else it can also lie independently over the internet. So when I'm talking about lying independently, it means the microsite can have their own domain also. Whereas a landing page with only a one page, which can be considered as a sales page, and it will be published with the branded parent sites. So this is the basic requirement. Where does microsite and brand landing site coincide? So it is something like, if you have made a campaign, a specific campaign. So both the landing page and microsites are focused for specific brands or specific campaign. It is generally smaller than the traditional website, which is already there for majority of the pharma company. Microsite and landing page can be temporary, but not always. So you're strategically, if you are selling your products and if you are manufacturing it, if you are going ahead with new innovations into the product, it can stay forever. Or else, if you're focusing on specific campaigns, it can be a temporary site. The right hand side part, the microsite versus the landing page, let us compare the length. So as I said, landing page is a single page. Microsite can be single or multiple or several pages. Landing pages can be static pages. Microsite can be dynamic pages. The difference between static and dynamic pages are, like, if you are only, like, providing some informations which are not supposed to change over the age, it is a static site. But if you want to engage your audiences, it can be dynamic, and there are different mechanisms and tools to engage with the audience through a microsite, through a website. The complexity part, the landing page should be simple, and the microsite can be simple or complex depending upon the features. Where does it reside in the internet? In your like, particularly the location. So the landing page resides within a subfolder or a subdomain of your website, and the microsite has, it can be a subdomain or it can also have their own domain name also. What is the objective? That is very important. Like, we are creating a microsite, we are focusing on building a microsite. So landing page only have one CTA, which is click to actions. So in fact, it should be solving only single purpose, but a microsite of a brand can have a larger impact with multiple CTAs, several CTAs in fact. So I hope I made it clear about what is a
But
website.
I am still confused, Sourav. There is one
Right,
more
sir.
term which comes to my mind, and that term is a web page. How is microsite, landing page, and a website, web page? Are they, I mean, website, I mean, the web page and my landing page, are they the same?
Sir, no, sir. Web page, when you are talking about a web page, everything is a web page. Anything written in the HTML language available for it, web page can be an article, web page can be a landing page, web page can be a microsite, the website can be a web page. The single HTML page which is available within a website is called as a web page. So let us not confuse. So what we can also do is, like, we can also choose to be like the landing page can, we can also say it as a web page. The different pages of a microsite can be a web page. The different pages of the website can be a web page.
Okay, okay. I've seen many brands, they have a stand-alone brand site, brand page.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you look at the recently introduced product by uh, there's a product called Afnitor, which has been introduced by Novartis. That's for cancer. And I've seen it's a standalone page. It's not a part of the Novartis
Main.
website page. And I've seen so many features in that. Like, for example, it is independent. It has the provision of downloading a PDF. It can also connect with the consumers. It can also connect with the doctors.
Yeah, right. So it depends upon your strategy, sir. So they want to focus on this product, the company, Novartis wanted to focus it. So it depends like whether they want to build the science or they want to gather the audience around the product. So that is the reason they tried to focus for a separate web page or a microsite for their product. So the question is, it all depends upon our intentions and it all depends upon our requirement. So as I rightly said, a branded a microsite can be a separate website altogether, or else it can lies within the company's website. So there is no hard and fast rule that you have to make a separate web page or you have to inbuilt it within the major site. It depends upon campaign to campaign, product to product, and strategies, your long-term strategies. If you want to have a brand like Afnitor, you're talking about Afnitor, and there are a lot of things, and they are marketing it in multiple geographies also. So the
Yeah.
question is, they wanted to have that awareness created about the symptoms, the awareness about the science behind the medicines, and that is the reason they choose to go ahead with a different brand name. And this brand name, suppose, so we have been seeing multiple takeover and selling of the brand name, right? So when it happens, it is also like the digital assets being transferred to the new company also. So it is something like the brand is sustaining of its own, and it is also having its own identity, and they want to have a focus team which will be addressing any of the queries or the engagement coming from the audiences with respect to this brand.
Okay.
That is the reason like they have a separate microsite for the brand Afnitor.
Okay, great. And just like I create a microsite for a brand, can I also create a microsite, say, for a disease, say like irritable bowel syndrome or maybe Parkinson's disease? Is that also possible? So
Yes,
that
what
what I can lead the patient to the doctor.
very good question, sir. Actually, when you are a research-oriented company, and suppose you are establishing a therapy segment altogether into the market, which is already there, and you want to show your presence in that therapy segment with multiple products. So what you can choose is like you can have a segment specific, a specialty-wise microsite. No matter after 2 years, after 3 years, you are launching any brand, you are at least targeting the disease, you are targeting the segment of audiences who are suffering from that disease, and continuously whatever new researches or new engagement mechanism you want to build up, you can do that. For me, segment wise microsite is actually a very good initiative which can be done into the pharma part. So they can show their involvement, they can show their dedications and commitments towards that therapy segment, and multiple brands can also reside. So in this case, what will happen if we see company's website as the master site, therapy segment can be a sub-master site, and all the brands can integrate within the same therapy segment to that sub-master site. So it can solve the purpose of common audiences, common patients, common engagement, which is lying under that particular ailments.
Does this mean, Sourav, that only if I'm a pioneer brand, or I'm the first in India or the first in the world to have a brand, only then I can come with a microsite? Suppose I'm on the 151st brand. Say there are 150 brands of Villa Gifting, and I'm the 151st brand. Can I have a microsite?
Why not? Because it means that there are 150 brands and you are 151 brand, but still patients and doctors are writing your brand and consuming it. So why not? The answer is if you are the 151 brand or else the 251 brand. The question is, if you are having a brand, you want to have a brand story. You want to say it to the customer. You want your visitors, your customers to engage with you. So the question is, if you are not having that microsite, the chances is like patient consuming your product and landing to some others microsite and taking the information. The question is, it doesn't matter. Like the answer is, it doesn't matter if you are the 151 or the 1001. If you are selling, if you are producing, and if you have a brand, you should have a microsite.
Why I ask this question? Because many people have that innovation in mind that if I'm not the first, there's no point in having a digital marketing also, leave aside a microsite. So that is the inhibition which many people have.
So it can happen. So sometimes what happen is like, suppose we are doing a decent business and similar products are already available with multiple companies and multiple companies have come up with their own microsites. Generally, we lack the interest and we don't want to go into the competitions. But it is always advisable to have some information around your brand available over the internet rather than the third party. Okay, there are many sites, many medicine delivery sites along with the drug information sites where the informations will be available. Your brand information may be available, but the question is, if you are the manufacturer, it's your product, you should have your own presence with respect to the brand in the market. The confidence level rises up within the visitors. So my standpoint on this part will be, if you are competing it on the physical world, why not in the digital world? So if 150 people have already the same medications and you are still doing it into the physical mechanism, it is only like having your presence in the digital part. Why do you want to lose on that part?
Which means I had to have a lot of creativity and different contents so that I stand out amongst the 150 competitors.
Yes, it can. It can. It depends upon the creativity of the marketing team, how they want to engage, what all things they want their visitor to consume. So the question is, like the point over here is, like if you are unique in your marketing campaigns, your sites can definitely be, microsites can be unique and you can stand out of the competitions.
So how do I attract people to my microsite? The
There
doctor
are
especially or the patient?
Yeah, so there are multiple ways of doing it. The first thing is like having a good SEO strategy for the microsite. So there is a life cycle. First, how it has to be done. First, if you have a brand or a therapy, you want to create a microsite, be clear in your thought process that what you want to present in the site. Jot it down, ask a developer or a technical person or a technical team to design your microsite. Once the technology team design your microsite, go for the search engine optimization. Search engine optimization, we will be covering it in a next sessions in Tech-In's Pharma series. But the question is, the point over here is, search engine optimization help your site and would like to rank and show it to the patients over the keywords. So once the search engine optimizations are done, you can ensure that people searching for your medication can land into your microsite. The best part, if you want your patient to come down to your microsite, you already have your physical packaging which is going ahead. This is a very unique combination. Unlike digital companies like ours, we don't have anything visible or physical or tangible, but your medicines are going ahead. People are consuming it. Doctors are getting the samples. Doctors are getting the leaf behind leaflets. So the question is, you can have a QR code or a link to your microsite placed over there. I'm again, syncing my Tech-In series first QR code session into this one. So if you place a simple QR code with the link to the microsite, then it is very easy for your consumers as well as your customer to reach to your microsite. But keep the content fresh so that every time they visit, they get something new and informative from the microsite. So there are multiple objectives of microsite. In fact, let me showcase you some of the things which you can do with the help of microsite. My screen is visible, sir. Yeah. So particularly the agenda of a microsite is brand information, then the content management. So lot of informations are, created according, like, continuously pharma companies generate different type of content. So you can use your microsite as a content management part. You can have a timestamp, date stamp with the latest informations. You can have surveys and feedbacks associated with your microsite. You can use it as a document management system. You can show and hide information from your microsites. You can use it for your campaigns and promotions, like whatever new campaigns or new promotions you are trying to do, you can do it from your microsite. And the last thing is, like, you can also inbuild discussion forums, which can be the dialogue between patient like me. So similar patients suffering from the same elements can come and have a discussion forum over there, which can be governed by their treating doctors. Dialogue between pharma and doctors can also happen. The dialogue between patient, caregiver, doctors, and pharma can also happen in a microsite. Nonetheless, let me just show you what are the different sections which can happen in a microsite. So what all things you can provide it. I'm just giving you an idea, but this is something which you don't have to benchmark it. But the question is, but the point is, like, these all things can be put up into the microsite. Not mandatorily everything will be there in the microsite. You can choose upon it. So your microsite can contain, the case study, journal, post-marketing surveillance report, scientific informations. Your visual aids can be residing inside the microsite. You can have product videos. You can have timely surveys and polls in the microsite. You can choose to go ahead and write some articles. You can time to time articles can be provided, can be written, can be published into the microsite. You can have different infographics to make it simpler and make it understandable by your prescribers. You can have ebooks to download, and ebooks can be downloaded through email IDs, and you can send it back. So in this way, you are also collecting decent informations about your consumers and the prescribers. You can have multiple images. You can have health tips, public awareness report. You can have your blogs, video blogs, vlogs. You can have chatbots, automatic chatbots getting responded with the basic queries. You can have audio podcast also. And nonetheless, you can also go ahead and choose to provide some offers, discount, promotional contents inside a microsite.
So this means I have an opportunity to directly communicate with my patients also, avoiding the doctors.
Why not? But the thing is, like, what all information you cannot prescribe your patients, the doctor should prescribe.
No, of course not. Of course, so I'm not asking about a prescription. Like, something for information on the drug availability, bonus offers, or discounts, something on those.
Absolutely. For an example, I'm just thinking of a use case. Suppose you want to have your personal order booking, POB booking for your pharmacies. In fact, you can have a form of order booking into your microsite, a section like book now, or else you can also go ahead with the refill now option for your patients. So these all things can be made possible with a microsite.
Great.
Right, sir?
And if I have a, well-established brand, say like Microsites, or say 𝐄𝐝𝐵, or say Taksim, do I need a microsite for these kinds of brands? The brand leaders, the robust brands.
Yeah, so that means the brands are hot selling brands. They are the market leader. They have been marketed well, and it is on the tip of the tongue and in the tip of the pen of doctors. So these brands are getting prescribed. These brands are already known. The question is, if still it is surviving and it is the market leader, that means the number of audiences, the number of consumers, in fact, I want to say, those who are consuming these brands is also higher. So there must be a loyalty customer base of this brand, and there can be new customers coming up, adding it up. So if you are a market leader, your social responsibility is like, in fact, having a microsite, having some information provided about it. And if you have done well into the physical world, again, I want to say that at least why not into the digital world?
Great. So you mean, Sourav, that you can integrate patient-centered approach in a brand microsite, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. It depends, like what all approaches we want to build up. The marketing team should be clear in their thought that why I am building a microsite, what will be the intention of this microsite, and depending upon that intention part, we can definitely add tech into this microsite to handle all this type of patient-centric approaches. I'm talking about the chatbots part. The chatbot is a very unique thing which is coming up, and we are seeing lot and lot of engagement with the chatbots. So this chatbot can address to your normal queries of the patients, where the medicines are available, what is the information, like medicine information, how it is used, what are the side effects, and what all things can be like done. We can do that. So this all things can be provided.
Sourav and Swati, you
Yeah.
always know the stand that I have taken, that a brand manager should not develop as a digital marketer, or a digital marketer should not develop as a brand manager. Now, who should keep the manage the microsite? Because the brand manager may not have the time for this activity, and the tech-savvy digital marketer will not have that solid
Knowledge.
understanding, those nitty-gritties which are required, which a brand manager can have. So that becomes very complex. So who is going to manage this microsite? Is it the medical
Uh,
marketing team, the brand manager, or is it the digital marketer?
This is a very good question, sir. See, microsite is not possible without technology. And like if at all a microsite is created without scientific information, it will be irrelevant, in fact. So it is a continuous efforts actually between both the entities, the tech team as well as the marketing team and the medical team. What I, in an ideal situation, what I can assume that if there is somebody who is responsible, so we have to have a responsibility part, and there is somebody who is accountable. In fact, there is a Rashi matrix which we use in the software, RACI. So if I'm talking about this Rashi matrix, I don't know whether it is getting used in pharma or not, but
No,
in
this term
IT,
is new to me. Frankly, this term is new to me. I have not heard
okay,
of it before.
there is something I will just explain. Rashi matrix, RACI. So R stand for responsible, A stand for accountable, C stand for consulted, and I stand for informed. So the question is, there should be one person who, like one person or team who should be responsible for it. We have to identify that team. There will be one person who will be accountable for the thing to happen. That will be the person who is supposed to take care of the initiative. There is something called as consulted. In fact, you can have your consulting partners and your vendors or doctors, in fact, whom you are consulting on this aspect. So they need to be consulted part, and the informed part, maybe the higher management, the CXO level people who just need to be informed. So this RASI matrix is a common term in IT. I hope that people will be trying to search, for RASI matrix in pharma also. If you can break down your brands into projects, small projects, and all your projects are having some microsites for the brand, what you can do is like you can follow this Rashi matrix, and you can restructure your team with at least 20% allocations from medical team, medical team, along with marketing team and your digital team to create an experience for the end users as well as an experience for your brand.
Great. Thank you. Very, very informative. While a company website lives forever, I've seen some of the brand microsites, they have, once the purpose is over, they disband it. So how long should you keep a brand site, a microsite for a brand?
So as I rightly said, microsite can be temporary, fulfilling one of your campaigns, right? Once the campaign is over, suppose for an example, you want to have a diabetic run marathon, and you want to create something around this, and you want your audience to register about it. So this can be a campaign. So once the marathon is over, the microsite may be over. But when you're talking about a segment, a brand, till the time you are selling it, till the time you are manufacturing it, till the time the people are consuming it, at least the information should lie within the internet part. And I think that this will be forever till the brand is there.
And one last question from my end. I'm a small, medium-sized company. In the IQVI's company ranking, I am 75th. So I don't think I can really afford to have a microsite for my brand. I think it's going to be a very costly affair, right? I know how well the techies are paid. Go to Bangalore, come to Pune, and you see what a posh life to live. Pharma people can't afford this kind of luxuries, especially if you're the 75th company or the 100th company.
Right. So the question is, you are indirectly asking me that how much it will cost?
Yeah.
Okay. It all depend upon the features, as we have known, because there is something like tech, or like in manufacturing, tech also require humans. So instead of factory, we use our minds. So the question is, we also have to do a lot of efforts. I understand. IT has been something like which is supposed to be costly in the first affair. But believe me, if you have an idea of starting a microsite, you can start it with as low as 5,000 to 7,000 to 10,000 rupees a month, a year, in fact, a year entire. There are domain, there are servers, there are technologies, but it all depends. So if you want to add some exorbitant features, it can go up to a couple of $1 million, in fact. So the question is, if you want to start a microsite, you can start it low. Keep it like depending upon the engagement, you can try to add up more feature in coming days. But yeah, there is a myth, there is a misconception that microsite or creating a website is difficult. And once it is created, maintaining a website is very difficult and it requires technical support. There are like companies who have come up, there is WordPress, and along with that, there are other tools wherein you can also go ahead, create your microsite with no code experience. You don't have to hire a technical people. Your marketing team will be sufficient in doing and maintaining it. So the part is like it is not very, very cost hefty. It will be really cost effective, in fact, suiting everyone's pocket.
You said a brand manager also can create it.
Hopefully, yes. And brand managers can definitely create it. People like me are trying to put in lot and lot of efforts, in fact, to make it effortless for brand managers. So we are putting lot and lot of efforts into technology. We are building up something around it also. And along with that, I believe there are multiple other companies who are also trying to build it up. And definitely we are excited and to see the technology helping companies to build without any code, without any lump sum IT expenses. And future will be definitely good and technology will be affordable. But the only thing is like it has to be accepted and adopted by the pharma companies.
No, it will be in the coming years, it will be adopted. And is it possible to show a live demo of how a brand microsite can be created? Is it possible?
Maybe we can do that maybe in coming sessions or one-on-one sessions, possibly.
Yeah.
But at this point of time, considering the time and showing or creating a like brand microsite will be a little bit difficult for me. But we can do it one-on-one.
Great. Thank you, Sourav, for this very, very interesting talk. I hand over the session to Swati ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, Vivek sir. And thank you, Sourav, for taking up the questions. And Vivek sir, very important questions you asked. A lot of questions we also received, which are related to the conversation. And I'll take up these one by one. And let us see. One question that sir asked, that smaller brands and budget issues and 75th in the ranking. One person, I think Abhishek, also answered this in a very smart way. He said, if you are actually a smaller company, you should be putting your efforts in digital space more rather than physical space.
Wow.
Where you have a lot of money to pour in and fight out bigger brands. You should be fighting it out very easily in digital if you have good ideas and creative ideas. Thank you, sir, Abhishek, for pointing this out. I will start with his question only. How to answer pharma brand managers' questions about ROI on making a microsite? So the first question is on return on investment. How will you say that a microsite could be an ROI thing?
Let us put it in this way. Suppose a new brand or an existing brand is happening, like you are creating and you are going ahead and marketing it. Let me put it in very simple way. If the cost of making a microsite is only 25,000 rupees, I'm just taking it as a benchmark, a ballpark figure in that. So 25,000 is something which you can invest, and you will not be thinking about the ROI from 25,000 at least, because you can save that much money from your printing efforts, which is already being happening at this point of time. If you are going ahead with a 4-page of LBL, you go ahead with a 1-page, and you will be saving on that part. This is first part to at least make you comfortable that okay, you are not spending exorbitant on that part, but at least you are enforcing at least you are deploying something which is cost effective. Second important part, suppose if the site is going ahead with your expectation up to maybe 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs or 20 lakhs, right? In that case, you being the brand manager, you need to figure out what are your expectation out of this. You want to drive sales, you want to drive communications, you want to drive engagements. So these are all things. Some things are quantifiable, but the fact is, at this point of time, every brand manager is thinking that if I am going ahead and putting up 10 lakhs rupees, I should get 20 lakhs rupees. So money to money ROI, it is slightly not considerable in microsite case, but yeah, if you are thinking to build up patient database, you are thinking to build up communication around your doctors. So definitely these all things can be quite possible, and you will be seeing that impact on your sales in coming months.
Thank you, Sourav. And before we go ahead, a very important announcement that I also mentioned at the start of the session. We will be taking up, inviting you to join us on one-to-one session with Mr. Sourav and Mr. Vivek. And those sessions would be on microsites. One representation from one company can book one slot. So Satish, I will ask you to put the link in the chat box. So one representation from one company, in that representation, your team could be there. But please, for one company, one consultation session would be there. It's a free session, 30 minutes, one company consulting on microsites. What you will be getting: understanding microsite for your brand, microsite feature discussions, microsite creation, maintenance, and execution. So this is an opportunity. Within a week, you will be getting these sessions.
So this is for a corporate, not for an individual. Am I right?
This is not for an individual. The company person should be filling up this form, and or they would be assigned the date and time through, they would be communicated about the date and time through our team. And you can utilize this session to connect with Sourav and Vivek sir for one-to-one session on your microsite brands. This is a free thing. Almost 5 to 10 sessions would be there, so you can fill up the forms and get those sessions booked.
Okay, that is the time when Sourav will also show how to prepare a microsite, right?
Yes. So I hope the link has been posted and you can fill up the form.
Yes, Rati, I have posted. Yeah.
We will post this same link in the WhatsApp group that you have joined. There also this link will be there. Let me take up the second question from Vivek Sharma. Sourav, can you give any example where a brand microsite is more popular than the landing page of the main site?
You want it in you know, pharma industry, or you want it in some other industry?
Both would
because
be,
because
yeah.
because the question is, at this point of time, I am not very much aware about. Yeah, Afnitor is one brand which is gathering almost 1.5 lakhs visitors, unique visitors in a month. So Afnitor from Novartis, which we took the example, Vivek sir, Afnitor, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That is
Correct.
the brand. So there are some OTC products also, like you know, they are having more views in comparison to their major sites. When you talk about microsites for telecom industries, yes, the plans, the proposals coming up from the telecom industries are gathering much more results. In fact, you hardly go to airtel.com, you directly land into the new plans of Airtel. If you take it an example of FMCG companies like Mars and PepsiCo, so there are landing pages or microsites for separate drinks and separate segment. So wherein microsites are generating more and more backlinks to the main site. So when I'm talking backlink is a very important criteria for your search engine optimizations. So they have created multiple microsite. People try to directly search the brand, they don't even, somebody, so there are some brands in fact which people doesn't know that it belongs to this company. So the best example of microsite will be big conglomerates in fact having their own website, but yeah, still people going ahead with different divisions websites in fact. So there are good amount of examples into the market wherein sub or brand specific sites are generating more attentions as well as more unique visitors in comparison to the main site.
In fact, that was one of the reasons of the success of Viagra. I still recall that. Viagra was more
Yes,
popular than the landing page of Pfizer.
yes, yes. The site is still available. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Vivek sir. Thank you, Sourav. I'll take up the next question. This is a comment from Mr. Sachin Bodawala. Within a product website too, one can have microsites by indication too.
Oh, wow.
For example, Jardian's website can have separate microsites for diabetes and heart failure.
Yes, possible.
Okay.
Yeah. Swati, I have some direct questions also. I would just late
you can take up. You can take up.
1 minute. Mr. Sandeep, he has made a very good point. Sorry, Sourav, we cannot book the order on microsite as it is not legal, as you need a licensed pharmacy to order book of medicine, as we have to take license, no, and license number and other details. Very good. So the question is, e-pharmacies are happening, and e-pharmacies definitely require medical licenses to supply the medicine. What I'm trying to do is with the help of microsite, what I was trying to say is you can redirect the patient to the nearby pharmacies through pin code. So if you have a pharmacy list and you know that where your medications or your medicines are available, just redirect with the phone number, contact number, map link to that pharmacy and ask the patient to purchase it from there. So it is something like showing the medicine availability nearby. Apart from that, if being a company, your brands are getting fulfilled through NetMed or 1mg or all those e-pharmacies which are already there, you can put up a direct link from your microsite that you can purchase it from there. You don't have to sell your medicines directly to the customer. You can use this mechanism to showcase the to help the customer find his medicines at a convenience. Right. Sandeep ji, yeah, Mr. Sandeep, I hope I have answered this one. But yeah, you are absolutely right. Without a medical license, without a pharmacy license, we cannot go ahead and sell the product from any site. That is absolutely right, and it's a valid point.
So you're taking up, sorry, sir.
I'm taking up one direct message, Mr. Praveen. How and who will attract the consumer to microsite? I think this answer I have provided. how we can help, like we can build up this mechanism through our sales team is in fact through the LBL, through QR codes, through messaging part, through videos. We can create some videos and we can do that. So once the microsites are created, there are multiple ways to market the microsite. Um, in YouTube, in fact, suppose we are focusing on diabetic part and we have multiple discussions coming around with a with a new molecules or a new drug which is coming up, we can have discussion, we can have doctors talk, and slowly and smoothly we can put up our microsite link in the description so that at least there will be some conversion to our microsite. So when you're talking about
I think there is some lag from
Yeah,
Sorry,
Hyderabad
side.
has been experiencing bad weather, storm. I know that. I hope it's not affecting Sourav.
Sir, he told us that there could be some hitches during this session. So let us wait for a minute. I think he will be joining back within a minute. So I will read out the comments. From Mr. Arindam, I feel microsites can play a crucial role to upgrade an excellent patient-centric approach to establish the brand image. Very rightly said, Arindam. From Mr. Swaroop Chanda, microsites should primarily help in creating the company brand image, first with focus on disease area and how the company brand helps patients know the disease well and how to manage the disease well for better outcomes. Today in pharma, product brand is more popular than company brand, unlike other sectors. Very well put, Mr. Swaroop. The example of Viagra that Vivek sir took, and I think Mr. Sachin also reiterated that, as someone said, Viagra is 98% publicity for Pfizer and 2% sales.
Sorry, I got disconnected, Swati.
No problem, sir. We understand you are at Hyderabad and there is a thunderstorm and there are network issues that could happen.
Yeah, no issues. So Swati, we can take up other questions.
Sure. So, okay, Abhishek Sawant again gave an example on Instagram handles. Few celebs have more followers than Instagram itself. Hence, a microsite is more popular than the landing page of the website. I'll take up another question. One important question from Priyadarshini Soni to the speaker. What are the costs that we need to pay for? You have mentioned that. How good it is to host microsite on news publishing sites like Navbharat Times, indiatimes.com. So this is interesting.
Swati, please come again with the question.
Sure. Sourav, you can stop the video so that you can be able to answer the audio part. Yeah. Now you can hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So the question is, how is good it is to host microsite on a news publishing site like navbharattimes.com or something like a publishing already.
So not only Navbharat Times or Times Group or Economics Times or Hill Times. So there are like 30 billions in internet, in fact, at this point, right, Swati? So the question is, the point is, we can, if you have a microsite, we can see of marketing it through omni-channel, omni websites who are top ranking websites. So we can always have our articles or brands or brand discussions, or else this type of webinars focus for that element, and we can put it up in YouTube, in social media, in multiple channels. In fact, we can put it up, not an issue. We are not trying to sell the medicine, we are just trying to sell the science behind the medicines. So that is completely legal. In fact, that we can think of going ahead and publishing it.
Wow.
Okay.
And
In
Mr.
the
Ashish,
meantime, Swati, I have Mr. Milind. Right, Sourav? Additionally, microsite can also be used as clinic locator pan India in case of any special clinic are being run with the initiative of pharma companies. Yes, that is also a features which we can add it up, the clinic locator part. So if you have clinics pan India, pin code wise, we can showcase the clinic on a microsite, and we can help the patient reaching out to the clinic in a much easier and convenient way.
nice input. Thank you so much. That is one more idea added to the options that could be put up at microsites. And Mr. Ashish also reiterated that hosting native ads will be a better option on the news website. The answer to the previous question.
Yeah, this is all marketing part. Like once the part like brand microsites are created, these are different channels, these are different ways to market the brand. Yes, because as we are marketing the medicines, we are also trying to market the microsites for the medicines also. So these are different channels, and yes, it is a good practice to go ahead with the native ads.
Perfect. I'll take up a very important question to understand again a difference between website and a microsite. Mr. Prashant Menon has asked, when do you recommend using a website and when do you recommend using a microsite? If you have two websites, can I make one website as a microsite of the other?
I didn't get that question actually. So you are not the users. You are doing your part of providing the informations, and users it depends. Again, what I will say, like if you are asking the question, like how do we want to promote one website over the other? Is this the question, Swati?
Question is recommendations for creating a website. So let us say I have a brand. Shall I create a website or shall I create a microsite around it? A total website and microsite.
Just try to understand. Microsite is a type of website only which reside in your company's website, right? So the question is, it is something like suppose for an example, Ola cabs are there. Ola is the brand. Ola Electric is a brand, right? And any technology is a different brand. So any technology must bring their own, company's website. And Ola as a brand, Ola Electric as a brand will be having different sites. So it all depends upon the purpose of your company, of your product, how you want to establish. Do you want people to know you from the company's name or the brand name? So if you want to prioritize one of the thing, like over the other, it is your wish, it is your call to choose one over the other.
Okay. Thank you, Sourav. One question. This is for Vivek sir and Sourav both. Sir, here comes a trust factor. Why the HCP would trust the data or information provided in the microsite of a company, meaning its authenticity? Can it not be biased considering the drug the company wants to induce? So this is a question from...
That's a very interesting question. And most of the brand sites may be looked at with suspect. And it takes a long time in building trust. So that trust has to be first established by the client, by the company or by the brand. Only when this kind of trust is established, the reader will know why he should trust the microsite, the contents in the microsite. For example, if you keep on talking about the brand name again and again, the trust will be reduced. But if you give something like, scientific information, academic information, the trust level will increase. Our contents have to be such, they have to appear non-biased. It will all depend upon how we write the contents.
Perfect, Vivek sir. So it is all about how you want to do it rather than how HCP will look at it. If you want to actually add value to the life of an HCP or a patient, the vision would be visible in your microsite?
For example, if I first keep the patient at the center of all activities and perform all the activities there, the doctor will naturally know that, yeah, this is a patient-centric organization, this is a patient-centric brand, and he'll start trusting the brand. But if I only say, talk about the brand again and again and again, then perhaps the trust level may get reduced.
Any additions to this, Sourav?
So this was the right question to like Vivek sir to address, because yeah, it is something about like how to build up trust factor. So, see, in fact, today if you are going ahead in the internet, the question is like there are many brands which are already available, and there are many sites who have already published your data. Doesn't know, they have collected it from the market, from the stockist level, from the company. We don't know the source of the data. But at least if we are having a microsite of a brand from the manufacturer or from the marketer, there will be a slight difference that, okay, at least the information is up to date and the information is non-biased, and whatever, like, it is our responsibility being the pharma company to provide the truth and fact. So if we are trying to only market our brand with different tactics, that is a different story altogether. If we want to put up genuine informations, yeah, what we can say that this information is trusted and for the consumers or the doctors by the pharma companies. So we can put up evidence on that part, and it will all depend upon. So from starting from day one, at least you have that one trust factor that the brand owner have published this content. This is one trust factor from day one. And over the period of time, as and when your sites is maturing, microsites are maturing, you can put up multiple things. You can have multiple engagement with your stakeholders to build up and to create that trust over the time. Sir.
Great.
Thank you, Sourav. Thank you, Vivek sir.
Yeah, but it takes a long time to build up trust, and we have to have some activities earlier also to show that, I'll give you one example. I'm talking about the early 1990s when I was in Sun Pharma. I was the product manager there. And we had introduced a product called Prazopress that is containing Prazosin. And Prazosin had one drawback. It caused first dose syncope. For those who are not familiar with the term first dose syncope, when you take the first dose, there is a sudden drop in the blood pressure. Now, this was a typical problem with Prazosin. We made it mandatory for the medical representatives of Sun Pharma in those days to tell the doctor at the end of the detailing that this is the side effect of the drug. And when the doctors heard this, maybe they did not prescribe the brand, but the trust in Sun Pharma, it soared up. Yes, this is a company which is marketing its product ethically. So the trust has to be built up by the company over a period of time. Trust cannot be built overnight. It's over a period of time. And that is what we have to do in all our marketing promotions.
Great message given, Vivek sir. And thank you, Sourav. Sourav, one question which is a bit technical coming from Mr. Swarup Chanda. If my main website is not built on WordPress, but say on CodeIgniter, can we add a landing page in it on marketing friendly WordPress? If no, how to deal with this challenge?
Yes, Sourav. So the question is, suppose your main website is on a legacy application or some other developer tools. So you can always choose to have a separate page and integrate with the links. This is quite possible. You can have your microsite with WordPress. You can integrate it with the CodeIgniter part, and you can also choose to do it in a core HTML, and you can create it and you can have a link. So every web page that you are designing, it will be getting hosted in a Linux or a Windows server. So once that site is hosted, you will be getting a link and you can always integrate that or embed that link with your main site. That is possible. So you don't have to
Doctor,
change the technology of your, yeah. You
Dr.
don't have to
Amit
change the
Bhargava has
technology.
raised his hand, and Dr. Amit Bhargava, I think he wants to ask a question.
Sure, Dr. Amit. I hope the answer is well accepted, Mr. Sourav. So Sourav says you can easily link those, right, Sourav?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Dr. Amit, kindly unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to add to what Vivek sir talked about trust. See, we should also keep in mind that trust is not a, like a passport. Once given, it is valid for any. Please keep in mind that trust is not a static entity like a static website. And any piece of information or activity that we are dispensing is capable of partially or totally disrupting our trust factor. So there has to be a very conscious effort by the company or the division or the brand that whatever we do should not have a detrimental effect on our trust. So please do keep that in mind. Thank you.
Absolutely valid by Dr. Bhargava.
Thank you, Dr. Amit. Very nicely put and well understood. Mr. Sanket has put up a very important question. I think we missed mentioning that point also. Should microsite be in the mother language or a regional language to understand about disease for the consumers? Some pharma organizations are doing same thing on their company website. They provide one option for brand, and that is, I think, same as microsite. So language thing and how to weave that into your microsite.
Very good question, Swati. Yes, for a best practice of a microsite, and if you are targeting patients from all India, I'm talking about a geography of India where multiple regional languages are there, right? So this can be done in a microsite having the language translation tools and language translation API. Nowadays, the language translations APIs are almost 96-97% correct. And we can always have a multi-language option in a microsite. We can also have that privilege and control over the microsite that which section, which content can be seen by the doctors and which are supposed to be meant for the public. We can segregate this also. So this means the microsite can have separate content for doctors landing in. We can have a mechanism of OTPs and we can send them. We can have security inbuilt over that such information which are intended for doctors is not getting read by the public. And along with that, we can classify those informations. And suppose outside India also, we are going ahead with any Spanish country, Portuguese language, we can have n number of language conversions in HTML, which are there are APIs, there are good number of companies who are working on the language translations. Google being one of the market leader, the Google translation APIs are already available. You can put your sites in multiple languages, and there are mechanism in technology as of now that it will be recognizing the tagging location of the audiences, and by default, it can open the microsite in the regional language.
Wow, that is really great. People have a one step less to understand the thing, right?
No, again, though the person who has asked this question is completely focused about the centricity, in fact, the audience centricity part. I'm happy that this question came up, and it is something like, yes, it is a vital part in the personalization, and yes, language translation should be a vital feature in any microsite.
But I'll tell you, Sourav, my experience about this language translation by Google or by software is sometimes, debatable and questionable. Sometimes the right message doesn't get communicated, and it may add more problem to the patient.
Yeah,
I've seen one translation of a German book into English, and I'm horrified.
Yeah. So I have seen that with my organization. We commonly deal with the doctor's appointment part. So there is a section in doctor's website which we create called as book appointment. So generally, with what was happening is like if we translate it into Hindi, it was giving a statement like Niyukti Kitab. So it was something like Niyukti Kitab. So I was horrified. But yeah, these companies have also started the language translation. If it is wrong, we can always have supporters to correct it, and there is an option to correct it, to correct it also. So yeah, these all technologies are driven by machine learning and deep learning. Day by day, it is getting better and better. No language translation is 100% accurate, but at least if your site is 90% readable and understandable, your purpose is met.
Right. Thank you, Sourav. And Mr. Sachin, can you please interact with us?
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody, and good afternoon, Professor Vivek.
Thank you.
Nice spending the time with you on a Sunday morning. Sourav, pretty good insight into microsites, and let me also tell you that it's easy to assimilate. It is easy and not so complicated as normally digital is made out to be. It is simplified. Actually, it is not the ones which I am used to actually when I interact with individuals like you. Okay, so compliments from my side to you for that. I just wanted a couple of comments to make actually, and that is to help you from a while you are a expert in your domain. Actually, like Professor Vivek, I am a person from the industry, and which might help the industry colleagues to understand a little. So there were two questions. One on what is the kind of cost which would be there, and what is the kind of ROI. Let me, in a very simplified manner, try and put across to you. A cost of a website, not only let alone a microsite, would be less than a participation in one annual conference of a large meeting. Okay.
Thank you, Sachin, sir.
So I think first and foremost, let's understand that if you participate in a CSI, API, RSSDI, and so on in a large manner, book a convention, book a symposium, have a stall of a magnitude. Actually, all this is going to be costlier than a website, and significantly in multiple times costlier than a microsite. So the marketing team needs to understand where to allocate resources and how. Okay, so that's the first piece actually. The second one is actually related to the ROI. Okay, and you answered it pretty well actually, Sourav, but I would just like to say that in addition to what you have already said, it is what are we trying to achieve in terms of change in behavior. Okay, now if I'm looking at what is change in behavior, if I'm doing a symposia or a speaker program or participating in a stall, how do I actually really measure my change in behavior which I get out of my customer or an HCP? I don't get any great measurements of that. Actually, all I look at is in overall pharma companies are used to doing a multitude of things and then measuring sales as an outcome, and within which actually the rep also goes and visits the doctor 3 times a month or 4 times a month, and also goes and delivers content, which content works, which does not work. We do not have really any objective answers for what we do. Okay, digital is the only strategy where possibly you might get a much more better outcome in terms of objective measurements. And let me give you some examples for that. A doctor trying to download content from your website in a form of a clinical trial, or enrolling himself for a newsletter, coming repeatedly on your website, actually moving beyond the registration page actually and spending 5 minutes, 10 minutes. There are various ways of measuring actually how your how engaged is your customer on a website or on a microsite as compared to the ones which we really do actually. We don't know what our reps engagement is all about, actually, whether it is in 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes. What is the content delivered? What is the content which is liked by a customer? What is not liked by a customer, and so on. So I would tend to believe that I'm not still advocate that we move back lock, stock, and barrel to digital. We are still saying that a great integration of digital is required actually in terms of what we do, and your microsites actually or the websites actually are a great way to address that. Okay, so this is the additional comments which I thought actually.
Thank you, Sachin. Very, very valuable comments from a person from the industry. Thank you so much, Sachin.
Very nicely put, Sachin sir, and you made it comprehensible for us to understand the ROI part. Very importantly, you put that such things which are not measurable in the physical space can be easily measured through the digital space. Thank you. And let me take up a few more questions. Questions to Sourav from Prashant Menon sir. How advisable is it to have only microsites in place of website, as it is easier to maintain?
See, sir, Prashant sir, very good question. It depends. Again, I am saying, suppose you have 10 brands and you are seeing that people are engaging on your 10 brand website and you are getting your desired results out of it. Like the information is getting passed on, the people are getting communicated and engaged on the microsite. I think that you can slowly, go ahead and stop down your main website, because main website generally contain your product list, your about us, and if people are not willing to see that, it is good and advisable to keep it. But yeah, you can discontinue it also.
Right. So I think a website for a trust purposes is also a good thing. People want to see with whom we are interacting. Is it in this world where you will see millions and millions of pages being created daily, you need to have an address for your business, and then I think should create the micro addresses that you are talking about.
I think without a website, a company doesn't exist today.
Yes, sir.
And a website is very vital, and a brand site or a microsite can be made a part of the main website. But without a website, your identity is not established.
Thank you, Vivek sir. One more question from Mr. Prashant, and good one. Are there any pharma data points to suggest how fresh should the content be? Meaning any frequency recommended to refresh the content and your microsite? Sorry.
Before that, Prashant sir, I would like to just share my screen once again. Swati, please let me know if you are able to see the screen.
Yeah, not ready.
Okay. Visible now?
Not yet. Yeah, now it is visible. Sir.
Is it visible now?
Yes.
Okay. So answering this question, I will just take you to some benchmarking, like what are the different sections of a microsite? What can be a different sections? So it can be the salt information, how it works, the feedbacks, uses, doses, expert advice, review, testimonials, FAQs, side effect, composition, MRP, product PDF. So the question is, many of these things are static information until and unless you go ahead and change it out, right? How it works will remain same. However, there can be fresh content coming around with the case studies, like how the medications are getting changed, or how the medicines is behaving to a particular conditions or an ailment. So much of these things cannot be, it is supposed to be static in part. However, there are some dynamic features like offer discounts and order now options, which is something like which can be updated according to the campaigns. And apart from that, the product PDF, it is not going to change. But what I rightly said, like the articles and the blogs, a piece of content. Let us understand how the Google crawls the website. So there is a 2-time crawling happening in every week to check for any new contents and list it in the search engine. So similarly, every crawler of the search engines like Google, Yahoo, Bing, they usually do it a couple of times a week. Or else every time we add up a new content or a new change into the website, we can proactively ask for a crawling request. Once the website is crawled, once the keywords and meta tags, meta descriptions are done,
I think again there is a network disruption at Saurav's end. Mr. Sourav, you can unmute and interact with us.
Yeah, Sourav wanted to have him on.
Okay, let us wait for just a few minutes.
I am here. I am here.
He is here.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Sourav, you can go on.
Sourav, he's here. You can speak. You can ask.
Just a moment. Hello. Hi,
Hello.
Sourav.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
The fashion of microsites is not very old. We have been traditionally having websites with multiple pages. Microsites have developed, only to give space for certain brands and to do marketing activities, just like having a landing page. Now, what do you say? Like, I always have been a believer of having a single website and having a single face for the organization and its brands, right? So why is it so essential to have a microsite? Because if you have a single website and you have multiple product pages and you get all the details that you give in a microsite within the website, don't you think it helps the purpose?
Yes, Swarupda. So the question is, like, you are having a website and you are having multiple pages of that. So what you have done it is actually you have, like, what we are advocating, like a microsite. Many companies doesn't have a specific product page in their website also. And having the information is not enough in a microsite. What we are trying to make you realize is that there is a lot more of thing rather than information which can be done in a microsite. If you are having your single brand, like single website, and having your all brand pages, just try to revamp it and try to start the engagement from that pages, so that at least you can segregate your audiences right from the beginning. So if you have created 100 products, 100 pages, you are at least a use case in the pharma industry that you already have product microsites. These are residing inside your main website. However, if you are launching a new product and you want to focus, like you want to provide a focus subdomain or a domain for that, you can choose to do that. But as I have seen your website, you have already created product pages, and the engagement of the product pages is still lacking. You can always choose to go ahead and see the different kind of engagement that you can do in your product pages.
Yeah, and I think one example Vivek sir and Shashi sir also said, sometimes one of your products becomes more famous than your own company. So I believe that tech part also takes place here. The SEOs and all those things will come up if you create a micro site, right,
Yeah.
Sourav?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Swati, I was just coming to that only. When you have multiple brands and you have so many microsites having subdomain, of its own, your cost of, doing your getting yourself visible, that is doing SEO, goes up. So that was the reason in mind. I was thinking having a website will help reduce that cost part, where you can do SEO for all the pages instead of doing SEO for multiple brands, microsites. Sort of.
Yeah. So, if you are creating 10 pages, 30 pages of your main site also, and you are creating 20 pages and 2 microsites, the number of pages and the number of keywords remain same. So it will not, if you are treating it as a different entity, there will be agency who will be charging you separately for both the domain names. But the question is, if you are aware about it, the SEO primary agenda is to be like the number of pages and number of keywords. The cost and calculation always happen like how many pages you have, how many keywords you want to do. So there will be agencies who will be doing you in the similar cost, irrespective of your number of pages.
Thank you.
So it will not drastically increase the SEO part, but yeah, if you are having already 30-40 pages, you are already doing the SEO part. The same SEO strategies can be done for your microsite.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sourav sir, for asking the question. And we are coming close to the end of the session. I'm again requesting the representatives from the companies to fill up the form. If we can have the link again, Satish, in the chat box, to avail 1 30-minute one-to-one session with the Sourav Das and Vivek Hattangadi on microsites for your company or brands. One question, is it feasible to create a microsite for every product separately? Yes, feasible.
Yes, it is feasible.
Okay.
It is feasible, but maintaining it and updating it
might be difficult.
Mr. Sachin has also added, one advantage can be using a single HCP registration across microsites on a single website. I hope I'm audible.
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes. Last question I'll take up from Mr. Sheel Verma. How close microsite has been found with speed in terms of flow of business outcome as compared of conventional marketing strategies designed? Has reach to customers versus business outcome increased more? Mr. Sheel, if you can directly interact and come up with a question. So
yeah, you can open up, Sheel.
Good morning to all.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, what is my cause of asking is that the term microsite, since because of the availability towards the customer should be already versed in the field, but what other people are thinking about when they are new to the concept, is it the more beneficiary when it comes to the customers whom we are visiting or whom our subordinates are meeting? Is it very helpful in getting in content the outcome business for which we are working, the reach towards our brand?
So basically you are comparing the physical visits to the digital visits, maybe?
Exactly.
Okay.
See, I would like to add, answer this part. At this point of time, when we are in 2022, with mobile phones and internet available, accessible, and still we are facing challenges to meet our HCPs and get time from them. Why don't we think it in a different way that actually people, there are a lot of surveys which has happened that doctors want to understand about the medicines, want to understand it, but actually during the practice hour, during the time, they might be finding it redundant or irrelevant during their practice to talk to a MR, and that is the reason why industry is struggling to get a time from the doctor also. If we make our information readily available and self-consumable, nobody at this point of time, and similarly, see, last 10 to 15 years, our buying mentality has changed a lot. Now, we being a customer to any of the brand, suppose we are purchasing a phone or anything, we just want ourselves to get convinced. So that is the reason we try to compare all the mobile phones available in the market, all the garments, all the things that we are trying to, purchase. It is something like we see them, we read them at our convenience, we try to consume the information that is around, we review the product, and then we purchase it, right? So similar kind of thing when your representatives are off business hours and the doctors are on the internet. So this can be a medium of communication or sharing the informations which you are trying to do it in the traditional way. We are just trying to have a different channel, at least that information is readily available and on demand consumable by your consumers. So if you see it in this way, your perception will change towards the market. Vivek sir?
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree with Sourav.
Mr. Sanjeev Chadda, please interact, sir. I'm unable to find the question you asked, and hence I request you to please interact with Sourav and Vivek sir directly. Mr. Sanjeev Chadda.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving the opportunity. I just wanted to know, actually, I had, to put 2 or 3 questions. I just wanted to know where the pharma industry, is placed in terms of, microsites compared to, any other industry, where actually we are right now. In this particular things, are we
will be having only a handful of microsite at this point of time, or some companies who have taken the efforts to create their own product pages. So that is that much only. Like we have not seen much with respect to the RX medicines. However, there are some OTC focused medicines which are already having their separate identity and separate site. But yeah, digital is new to pharma, and yet microsite is very new to pharma, in fact. But in coming days, we can see when we are trying to have a seamless connections or a seamless information flow from the company to the consumers or to the audiences, we will be finding it as a right mechanism to have an informative microsite. And yes, industry is supposed to start on this part. It is not futuristic, but the present need of the industry. But till now, nothing much has been done practically into this field. Yes, some MNCs, they have already done it. Some Indian MNCs are trying to do it, but yeah, nothing much result at this point of time.
Thank you. Is there
as far as Europe is concerned, or whether it's USA which is concerned, for any new drug discovery or any new product which is launched, they'll first have a microsite for the brand. Take the example of 𝐄𝐝𝐵. Take the example of Afinitor, which we just talked about. One of the successes of 𝐄𝐝𝐵 is mainly because it had a microsite, and it had also, if I recollect correctly, one of the patient-centric activities, Sparsh, which was integrated into this microsite of 𝐄𝐝𝐵. That was one of the reasons for success of 𝐄𝐝𝐵 Genovate.
MSD product. Sir, is there any framework or a guideline if anyone wants to start a microsite, and he doesn't know how to go about? Is there any guideline or framework kind of thing which one has to follow before he actually proceed into the later part of the microsite? Any guideline is there?
Okay. So I was supposed to give it as a surprise after with your certificates, but yeah, the question is, we are just trying to maintain like seeing the different industries and seeing the usability of the microsite. We will be sharing an ebook. We will try to be as accurate as possible. We'll be trying to send an ebook to all the audiences that attended this session, and you will be receiving it in the next 7 days with the best practices, with the sections of microsite, with the engagement approach for different sections, and what to expect, what not to expect, some best practices in the industry, and how to start with the microsite. So this part we will be trying to give you in an ebook.
Just one thing last. Thank you very much, Swati. Just one more thing. Sir, if I have a brand which is very high on the market share and low on the growth, is it the right candidate for a microsite? If I want to make a microsite, is it the right candidate?
Once again, your question.
Sir, the brand is very high on the market share and low on the growth. It's a cash cow kind of thing. Is it the right candidate for the microsite?
In fact, this was a question which I'd also asked Sourav a little while ago, whether you need microsite for brands like Microsites, or whether you need a microsite for a brand like �𝐶𝐵 or so on. Yes, it is a right candidate. It is definitely a right candidate. Definitely.
There could be another growth spurt attached with the digital adoption, Sanjeev sir. So why not?
Just to give you, I am not from the marketing. I am from the training function of Zydus. But I have got a very high inclination towards the marketing. So whenever I get this kind of opportunity, I always attend and get myself a little more knowledge on the marketing. Thank you very, very much once again. Thanks a lot. Thanks to my boss, Mr. Satish Dandekar, who shared this, link to us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vivek.
Thank you, Sanjeev sir.
Thank you, Sourav Dasji. Thank you very much.
Thank you for interaction. And Sanjeev sir, I invite you to just please interact with us in the 30 minute to one-to-one sessions also with Sourav and Vivek on this microsites.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me take up one more question, Swati. It is a direct message from Mr. Sourav. Good question. Blog page should be a part of main website or brand microsite. Main website or brand microsite, like the blog page. Considering today's engagement criteria over the internet, articles and blogs are supposed to be most engaging content. So if you have a brand microsite already created, and you have any articles with respect to that, or series of articles with respect to that, go ahead, publish it in your brand microsite, and simultaneously you can also publish it in your main website also. So when you are trying to market over an article, so what can happen? Suppose you have created a brand microsite and you have created a new article and publish it to the brand microsite. You can send that article link through different media to your audiences, maybe doctors, maybe consumers, and you are expecting them to come and read the articles. From the article itself, you can have a link, like depending upon your intent, whether you want them to visit your main site or whether you want them to visit your microsite. For an example, suppose you are marketing a new product on derma product, on a skin moisturizer, in fact. You bring up with a very oil-free moisturizer, and it is very light on the screen, and you are just trying to create an article like how to take care of your skins in summer or in AC offices. Put it up, give a link for the consumers, the product, who are the consumers, in fact, to the microsite. Suppose you want to find distributors for this product, just give the article in your main site, same article with a link to your main site, so that at least the distributor is also coming up requesting you to purchase it. So you can split it up. Yeah, and each and every articles which we are putting and publishing can have a different strategy to continue the business. So these are complement strategies to for your business. You want your audience to come to the microsite, you want your distributor to come to your main site, go for the distribution inquiries. So I have just given an example. So much more can be happening. We can talk on that part, maybe offline
or one-on-one.
One-on-one, yes.
Sourav, please join us one-on-one. And today we also have among us Dr. Radhika Nayak. Vivek sir invited her. So few words from Dr. Radhika on the need to go digital, Dr. Radhika, because you're here and we want some inputs from you. Please unmute.
No, we can't hear you.
No. I think I'm audible now.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, I was just sitting here spellbound because everything is new to me, and it's all digital and this. But one thing is there. My product is, though I'm a gynecologist, but I have come up with one product of the organic sanitary pads, which are giving health and assurance and security to the present and then future generation also. So many people have advised me to go digital for this. I have already got my one website. That website is there. My Katyayani Enterprises is my company, and I'm a proprietor of it. So people have asked me to go for that, and I'm trying to go. Now today, what you have come with the microsite and all, no? It sounds very, very interesting for me. So I think I have, as you are going to send me ebook, so I'll have to think on it, and one on or off the offline or something, I will get guidance, and I want to go digital for this purpose.
Thank you, Dr.
Ma'am,
Radhika,
your
for your
advantage.
brand ambassador. Wonderful.
I will just say, Dr. Radhika, one of the things which is differentiating your product from the pharma product is something. It is non-RX product. It doesn't require a prescription. It is something like you have a competitive advantage over the pharma products, in fact, wherein like somebody is prescribing you the medicine, and here the consumer can directly take the decisions. If you have this brand, you like Microsite or a website for this particular brand can solve the full purpose of selling it out. And the stories that are getting created with respect to the organic pads, and this can be highlighted, and the results will be quite faster in comparison to the traditional pharma RX business microsites. So yeah, hoping to see you on one-on-one, and we will definitely take it up. But yeah, it is a good choice, and D2C is the way out. Direct to consumers, there are a lot of direct to consumer brands, and we can help you out guiding into the
but
best.
even one thing I will like to tell, that it doesn't, as you say, that it is a commodity price, this thing, product, like a regular, but then still it is even a prescription thing also, because it is giving, it can be used for the treatment of PCOS, in endometriosis, in the prevention of cancer. And I'm very happy to say that Blockap company has accepted. Blockap company is the one which has designed their product. That product is a online, that mobile app, which doesn't need any internet, and for the detection of cancer, of various cancers they have, and it is WHO certified. So they are in the detection of cancer, and they have accepted my patch for the showing that it is prevention of cancer.
Wow,
so
wow.
these things, this patch they have taken up, and now in a short time they are already in the second phase of that research in Maharashtra. They've selected Maharashtra, and then my patch will be added to that for the simultaneously with the research. Once it becomes, that research part gets over, this will become a global project. That is there. This is what I'm telling. It needs even prescription. It needs offline also, online also, whatever it is. So this is the way it can go.
Wow. So we have enthusiasts in HCPs also. So pharma sometimes asks us, HCPs are not opening to digital engagement. I would say that's not true. So they are engaging. They are coming up with the digital engagements. They want to know what is there in the digital space. Thank you, Dr. Radhika, for interacting with us. We hope.
Thank you to include me in this, and I learned so many things. Many things went above, but I will be definitely learn, because I'm basically a very good student. So I can learn things very early.
Thank you, ma'am. And Mr. Sourav, you wanted to share some thoughts. If you're there, please unmute.
I have unmuted. Yeah. I did raise a hand, but that question was already addressed, because I have sent sort of the question. More questions coming up in the 30-minute one-on-one session.
Yes.
Yeah, Dr. Amit Bhargava has raised his hand again, please.
Yeah, Dr. Radhika.
Yes.
After hearing that, wonderful description of your product, while Sourav does your microsite and WHO does your trials, I suggest you also get into getting your product registered as a device, because once it becomes global and it does not have a regulatory status, you will lose a lot of valuable time in getting it registered at that point of time.
I'm going for patenting of it already, and
patenting is one thing. Patenting is one thing. Regulatory status is another. It's either
I will understand that point from after discussing, because so many things has to be learned like that.
Sure. Okay. All right. All the best.
It needs that. Thank you very much, sir, for telling me that.
Thank you, Dr. Amit. Thank you, Dr. Radhika. And now we announce the quiz winners. We also hosted a quiz on microsites, and let us see who have won the microsite quiz competition this time. So congratulations to the top winners: Jyoti Prakash Bhaja, rank 1, rank 2 Aanchal Rai, and rank 3 Rutvi Patel. And you will be receiving your winner certificates. Thank you for interacting with us and participating in the quizzes. That 3 cheers to all the top winners and all those who participated. So next, we would be continuing with the Tech in Pharma series, and we'll be bringing the 3rd session in this series. All those who are in the network who have registered for this session will be receiving the invite for the next session also. And we'll also try to share with you the whole calendar of the Tech in Pharma series with around 10 to 12 sessions, so that you can block your timings and dates according to that and interact and participate in these sessions. Heartfelt thanks to all those who interacted, who participated, who asked questions, who sat patiently for their turn. Thank you, Sanjeev sir, for that. And really happy that the session went well, even with some extra time that we took from your Sunday mornings. So thank you, Vivek sir. Thank you, Sourav, for joining us. Thank you all for being there.
And sorry for my internet.
No.
And sorry for my
you cannot be blamed for that. It's nature just.
Yes. So now I think 10 more sessions are pending in this Tech in Pharma series. So 2 have gone. First was for QR code. The second one was today, and 10 more are there. So we'll share the complete calendar, and whoever want to, who is interested, you can register to these sessions and can attend these sessions, right? So the second thing is that those who registered with the registration form will be receiving their certificates within 48 hours or 2 days, we can say. And I'll request to give your valuable feedback. That is very, very important for us. So I have posted the link in the chat box. You can just click the link and move out of the meeting, and hence the meeting will be ended.
Thank you, Satish, and looking forward to your feedback. Looking forward again to see you, interact with you in the next session on TIP series from PharmaState Academy. Bye for now.
Bye everyone. We are ending the session now. You can click over the link in the chat box and give the feedback. Thank you, everyone. So I'm just waiting for the attendees to click on the link. So keeping it open for some more time. You can click over the link in the chat box and give your feedback. Okay, so now I am ending the session. Yes.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.